title going into those Super 8s as well. They're about to kick off at the AJ Bell Stadium. Ben Pro will be keeping a very close watch on what's happening there. Matty Smith gets the game underway here at the DW Stadium. Johnny Lomax underneath the kickoff. Here's Alex Walmsley. There's the first collision, and this is what it's going to be about all night.
Yeah, they haven't let us down, have they? Wonderful hit by Ben Flower on the big fella, Alex Walmsley. The two prop forwards, they will fight all the way through this game. And you can see St Helens, they were trying to get up and play the ball pretty quickly, but the Wigan tactics of holding them down just in time before the officials perhaps will take charge. Good switch on the inside. What a great tackle there by Powell.
Yes, Sam Powell, good tackle on Percival. Here is Jordan Turner, gets the kick away all along the ground. This will be greasy as it arrives in the arms of Sam Tompkins. And here comes Lewis Tierney, and he finds Tompkins with the return pass. Tompkins, though, brought down.
Interesting to see St Helens kicking early. They didn't wait until the last. Obviously, Jordan Turner's been told by Kieran Cunningham, the coach, that we've got to try to turn this Wigan outfit around, but you can see that Wigan have already made inroads into the St Helens half.
Dan Sargentson, 40 metres away from the Saints line, plays the ball. And here is Matty Smith, once upon a time of St Helens himself. George Williams, what a breathtaking try he scored last week at Headingley. Didn't quite rescue the match for the Wigan Warriors, but it was an eye-catching moment from last year's Young Player of the Year.
Certainly was. He was brilliant last week, as you say, and he's one of the few young players in my book, Eddie, that actually plays like an old-fashioned standoff. We often see different players from the centres, full-backs, who go into the number 6 position, but George Williams reminds me so much. And here's the inside pass. It looks as though Walsh has got a hand to that.
Well, he has, but the referee actually, Steve, has decided it was a forward pass from Wigan. Didn't look at that angle, but a little bit of look for the away team at the start.
Well, that's weird.
Back row. Head in.
How on earth can you say that was forward when it travelled about 1.5 feet?
Eddie, these opening minutes are going to be huge for St Helens. They come here on the back of those 4 victories that you spoke about before the game. But as you've also mentioned, they were against teams below them. This is the biggest test they'll have faced since they lost to Catalan Dragons about 5 weeks ago. Since then, they've clawed back all those points that they were behind the other teams in the top 4. But now in the opening part of this game, they need to show Wigan that they're the real deal and not give Wigan a sniff. Work their way into this game.
They've been helped there by the penalty blown by Phil Bentham for offside at the play of the ball. So Saints will begin this set 30 metres away from the Wigan line, and Roby has possession for the Saints. James Roby, the 2007 Man of Steel. 39th meeting for Roby against the Wigan Warriors. This now is Greg Richards. Come of age lately has Richards, played the ball to Roby. That was Wilkin. Here is Luke Walsh. Now it's with Jordan Turner. Great ball. And almost a chance. There is a chance. A chance there for the first try for Matthew Fleming. And there's a bit of a pushing and shoving going on here.
He was a beautiful short pass as well. Fleming, the centre.
Is there a penalty coming, Stuart, for a high tackle?
High tackle by Sam Tompkins. I think he was wrong-footed and just caught him high as he was going through.
Oh, no doubt about it. That deserves at least a yellow, surely, Stuart.
I don't think so. It's more of a reaction grab. He goes with a flat hand. I think that's fine.
See, this is why I'm puzzled. We have a sin bin in the game. He's made direct contact with the head. You're always talking to me about direct contact. That is the opportunity for a referee to put a player in the sin bin. You want to eliminate tackles that make contact with the head. There's the chance to do it.
I'm with you, Brian. We've been calling for it for a long, long time, and it really irritates the fans. Certainly irritate the St Helens players and the fans, and I'm not so sure that Kieran Cunningham will be happy there. That's not just a late plunge. That is a definite swinging arm.
Well, we've had the opportunity to look at it about 3 times. Phil Bentham's had 1 opportunity. He's seen it as a reaction. He's seen it as careless, which is the lesser of the 3 categories for high tackle, and he's decided to leave it as a penalty.
So penalty it is, and interesting, St Helens deciding to kick for goal here with Mark Percival, despite the fact that that penalty was given half a metre from the Wigan line.
I understand it the way, and I think 4 minutes into the game, the St Helens team will be delighted with the way they've started the match. They've had possession of the opponent's line, they've broken through Wigan's defence, which isn't something teams do very easily, and they've got a chance here to take the lead. Now, I've not got to worry that St Helens' defence is good enough to win this match, but I'm not sure they've got enough players who can create enough chances to score the points to win it. We've seen a great break early on there, and we might just see the first 2 points if Percival puts this between the posts.
Well, Mark Percival back in the side for the last 5. He scored in 4 of them. He's now scored in 5 of the last 6. And St Helens have the first points on the board. Interesting your view about that, Phil, because I know you say that you cannot win rugby league games by kicking goals. You would prefer to see try scoring.
I would, but I think in this game, we remember Wigan Saints games, typically low scoring affairs very often, and points hard to come back. I think from a confidence point of view, bearing outmined when they last played Wigan on Good Friday, completely outclassed, to go ahead is a good psychological tactic.
Well, ahead they are. And in possession with Jack Owens, who gives it to Alex Walmsley, who breaks the first 3 would-be tacklers.
Yeah,
good job that Sam Powell was there.
And it's all about upper body strength as well. And you could see there that Walmsley not only utilised the shoulder, but was spinning in the would-be tackle. And that's the 3rd occasion we've seen the inside pass to McCarthy Scarsbrook. Kieran Cunningham very, very interested in making sure that that short get, and then they've gone early again.
And they've gone for a 40-20 here with Luke Walsh. They've gone for a 40-20. It just didn't get the skip off the turf.
But
Tompkins picks it up.
Look at the chase, though. Kicking on the 3rd. Again, that's the 2nd time they've done that. That's where they lost the ball there, looking to get away with that. It's all action, it's all go, and it's rough and tough, just as we expected.
Manfredi goes down. Tackle number 2 for Wigan. Ooh, Wilkin over the top of the shoulder, but it's not the penalty for that. It's for offside at the play of the ball.
Well, he had a choice, didn't he, Phil Bentham? Certainly they came out of the traps a little bit early. They nearly missed that.
Yes, it was a dive from Lomax.
He's touched the ball, so do we see a scrum here? He's left the field of play. Tried his best, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's jumped from the field of play and touched it, so you don't get the tap restart, but you get the scrum, head and feet to Wigan.
Well, this may be an advantage. A lot of players think that it is an advantage to do an attack from the scrum. The opposition have 6 players in that pack. This is a great opportunity. Maybe the likes of Matty Smith and George Williams will come up with a blindside move. It's very rare that we can use it, but will they do it this time?
This is George Williams. And now Oliver Gildart. And Luke Walsh had hold of him first up. And then Fleming got to him. Tierney was the dummy half. It's now with George Williams. Trying to go in between McCarthy Scarsbrook. And also Greg Richards. Powell, 10 metres away, looks for the runners. Gildart again. Enveloped though by the St Helens defenders. Lachlan Waits, dummy half, 5 metres away from the line. Finds George Williams. Williams then into centre field to Ben Flower. He is pulled down by Alex Walmsley.
Hold. Goal 4.
Powell again. O'Loughlin skips away from one would-be challenge. Fires the ball inside to George Williams. He dabs it through. That's touched by Saints. This could be the first try. No, he's just short. Lomax to the rescue. Well, the referee says last tackle coming up here. And St Helens defend the line. Was that not touched by St Helens, Stuart?
Well, I thought it was touched. I don't think the officials have seen it. Or certainly not ruled it that way.
Well, not only that, St Helens were, well, they were totally bemused. Well, did Wilkin get a hand to that?
Well, John Wilkins touched it with his hand here. Played it.
Certainly looked that way, but St Helens was stood around. It was a neat little kick through there.
Well, this is a chance here at the end. You want to show them how tough you are, and you want to make an effort to improve your team's chances. Carrying the ball for St Helens now, with Wigan's defenders sprinting forward. These are brave, tough runs here that the Saints are trying to do to gain some ground.
Greenwood was the man on the end of that run. This is Walmsley. They're making progress. They'll make more now here with Roby. He finds Turner, who in turn finds McCarthy Scarsbrook, who's been in great form just lately. McCarthy Scarsbrook gets to his feet. Mistake. A mistake from Mr. Dependable, James Roby.
Well, that's amazing. This is a rarity.
Greasy ball maybe, rain, just as we started the match. Lush surface.
Well, that is amazing. 99 out of 100.
It's the turnover this because it was on the last tackle, so... Wigan begin this set in great field position, and Powell goes to the right-hand side.
Yeah, and the biggest problem, Kieran Cunningham would have been disappointed with that, because he was setting up for the big kick downfield. And as you can see, that Wigan are in a very commanding position.
They are, and they have the ball in hand with Ben Flower, who gets to his feet and plays it to Sam Powell. Powell then goes right and finds Smith. Smith to Tompkins. Tompkins dabs it into the open space. And Adam Swift to the rescue. Oh, dear. Well, I don't think, and I can understand why Lomax is a little bit upset.
Yeah, Sargentson could have pulled up, and he didn't. I know there's a lot of tension out there. There always is between these two sides. But I'm afraid Sargentson could have pulled up and gone out of the way of that.
Well, the referee will take a report from both touch judges.
It was a neat kick through, though, by Sam Tompkins.
Jump.
It was a nice kick, and this is the moment where Saints were a bit upset. There.
Okay. You take that back. Yes.
He knew he was heading for the in-goal area, and he didn't need to do that.
Wasn't necessary, Stuart, was it?
Well, you could say it wasn't necessary, but I think he's actually in the in-goal area when he makes contact with him. You know, the pushes after that. Probably unnecessary, but you can understand why it's happening.
That's the famous corner, isn't it? Justin Murphy somersaulted over the hoardings, and he ended up in the first couple of rows of that terrace.
Come in.
They are very close, the advertising hoardings, to those in-goals.
Come in.
Let's have a listen to what the ref's going to say about all this.
Let him get out. It was on the... Just listen. His foot's just out at the point he's made contact. It's a slipping height. We've got to take care of them situations now. Okay, it's a dropout.
Goal line dropout. No penalty against Dan Sargentson. The referee's right. They have to have a little bit of due care and attention. That could have been very nasty.
Well, he's got the warning. He's not happy, Sean Wayne. I don't know why.
It was a tackle-2 kick by Sam Tompkins, so he did back himself early in the tackle count. They got a repeat set. They will now try and turn the pressure on St. Helens. Will the St. Helens defence have the answers? It's been pretty good so far, but they have been stretched. Wigan are trying to pull them apart and then find some space down the middle.
Terry and Barry, hope you're watching. That was a real bell ringer from Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook.
Oh, Flower felt it as well. He looked stunned after this, and why wouldn't you? Oh.
Great tackle.
Triple decker as well.
George Williams spins from a couple of would-be challenges, gets the ball away somehow to Sean O'Loughlin, who finds Ben Flower.
It was a late offload by Williams, and it caught the St. Helens defence.
Sam Powell inside the 20. This is O'Loughlin. Back it comes now. A dab through to the in-goal area, looking for Lewis Tierney. Finding Lewis Tierney. Has he got this ball down? And well, there is a man who is down. To try scorer. It is Lewis Tierney. A real collision. We saw one on the far side just a few moments ago. That was self-imposed by Tierney, because he would not give up on the chase. And he managed to get a hand to it and touch it down in the view of Phil Bentham. What a kick, what a run.
Yeah, that's the third occasion that Wigan have opted for the kick. And both of them, at the early part, has come from this man Williams. The third one, of course, was Sam Tompkins. And that is a wonderful try. The combination. Tierney knew exactly what was going to happen. And that's a TOI, and it's got Wigan well and truly on their way.
And there was no thought from Lewis Tierney about self-preservation.
There wasn't, you know. He scored the last try of the match here recently against Wakefield to win them the game. He scored the first one tonight off of the exact same play. Kick through, you've seen as the defenders rush forward. Wigan's attacking kicks have been dangerous, difficult, and very accurate. 4 points for Lewis Tierney. What a good season he's having.
A great season, and just at the right time as well, with Josh Charnley leaving Wigan at the end of this season. They have the ready-made replacement in Lewis Tierney. And there's of course he comes from good stock as well.
Yeah, there was no fluke about that, Eddie. That is something that Sean Wayne obviously has been working hard on. As I say, that's the third occasion they've opted for that kick into the in-goal area. It's all about putting the pressure. And talking of pressure,
it's Matty Smith. Rumours that he's on his way back to his original St Helens club, dismissed by Wigan. And Matty Smith has missed with the first conversion attempt from way out on the near touch line. But Wigan are ahead by 4 points to 2. Well, first try.
It's Jack Owens, Eddie, tasked with defending this kick. He gets drawn into the kick, and if he looks back on this, where Tierney dots down is a place close to where Jack Owens would have started his run from.
Just all
Probably
10.
need to readjust, not get drawn so far up to the ball. He might have a better chance of defending that kick.
Time off.
Goal from
Stay
St
behind,
Helens
lads.
then, to give them a 2-0 lead. Try from Wigan. It's 4-2 here. Wonder what's happening in the other match we're following tonight at Salford. Ben Pro!
Thanks, Eddie. Yeah, well, Wigan ahead there, and Hull doing what they need to do here at the AJ Bell Stadium. They're ahead by 6 points now. They're ahead inside 4 minutes. Shawn Michaels going into the corner, converted brilliantly by Mark Sneed from the touchline. And they're ahead by 6 points to 0.
So Hull clinging on to the top of the table. Here we have a knock-on, and St Helens with the chance.
Yeah, good opportunity there, and you can see that he just loses it.
On the goal line when we get there, Wigan.
As soon as the elbow hits terra firma, lost control of it.
Shift across, fellas.
That's a big error by Dan Sargentson.
Well, in these conditions, we know field position, being near opponent's line is probably more important than anything, isn't it? Here, James Roby's error led to the first try. Their conceded possession says, is their attack good enough here to break through Wigan's defence?
Move, Shawn!
Well, we're going to find out in the next 5 tackles, maybe. Roby to Walmsley. Felled by a great tackle by Willie Iser and Ben Flower. Here is Wilkin. Back it comes to Turner. Short ball to Louis McCarthy. Scarsbrook. An important tackle by Matty Smith low down.
Goal, 3.
Roby. Good hands, but Walmsley puts the ball down.
Great hit there by Sean O'Loughlin. Walmsley just receiving it at the split second. O'Loughlin just ricocheted into him.
Square. Hold, goal, 1.
Lewis Tierney, the try scorer, none the worse for his collision with the hoardings in the scoring of that spectacular try.
Well, you can see that both defences are well and truly on top, and that's the reason why Wigan are opting for the kick. St Helens haven't had that opportunity yet, but I'm sure that Kieran Cunningham will get that message out to him. That's a knock-on.
Well, the conditions are reminiscent of a grand final, and so is the pace and intensity. St Helens have ensured here that if they lose this game, it won't be because they weren't aggressive enough. Some of their defence has been brutal so far. The ball's come free here now, and they've turned it over again. Is it ripped out by Joe Greenwood?
Well, he's certainly got a hand on it, hasn't he, when he's pulled it out. There's another man in the tackle as well.
Well, Sam Tompkins has been having a right old chat to referee Phil Bentham, and he had a bit of a go at the touch judge as well. Let's get back to Salford, Ben.
Yes, and Salford back on terms, Eddie. There's 16 minutes gone now, and the kick ahead from Michael Dobson. He's there first to get on the end of this, the former Hull KR man, of course, and Dobson gets there. Kick successful as well, 6 points apiece.
All square at the AJ Bell. Here 4-2 to Wigan as Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook disappears under the challenges. Here goes Roby with a nice little run from him.
That's the first we've seen from Roby.
Back up. Goal, 3rd.
Walsh, 20 metres away. Ooh, wasn't the best pass to Greenwood. There's screams of forward, but I don't think it was.
No, it wasn't. It went back, but Greenwood thought that he was going to be the dummy runner.
Roby again dabs it to the corner. Tierney is there. Tierney picks it up. Work to do to get out of trouble. Can't do so. It's a goal line dropout coming up for Wigan.
And again, wonderful work by this man, James Roby. Tierney got back in time. It had to as well. Boy, the pressure. And in the conditions, the kick has got to be the most vital advantage on either side.
Well, just while we wait for this goal line dropout, we're all in celebratory mood in the Sky Sports Rugby League camp tonight, because we have no fewer than 3 birthdays to celebrate during the course of the next 24 hours. Angela Powers has come to the rescue on the touchline. It's her birthday. Barry McDermott, it is his birthday as well. And guess who else, Steve-O, is celebrating a big birthday today?
They tell me it's an Irish bloke.
It's actually tomorrow, I understand. It's a big birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to them all, Brian Carney.
Stand now.
I can't believe you're only that age, Brian.
Back to the game.
Move, Ryan.
James Roby won that dropout. Thanks very much, Eddie. He won that dropout. He's just got to be careful with a few of his passes from dummy half. There has been calls from the crowd, and a few of them are borderline. You'd hate to see them undo the good work that they're doing with a sloppy pass from dummy half that just drifts forward and gives the referee a chance to turn over possession to Wigan.
I had a finger wagged at me then, Steve-O, by the way.
One for the first, one for the last, Eddie.
Finger
Simple as
was
that.
wagging.
Oh, they were very close there. Roby had to get onto it. Lomax linking through. This is going to be another kick. Why not? Slippery conditions.
Well,
Keep it low. Keep it low.
This is the last one, and Jordan Turner goes high, and Tini claims it behind his own line, and that will be a tap on the 20.
Well, I'm not so sure the aerial route is the best option there. We mentioned that you know, the rain has been pouring down, and it's very, very difficult. Slippy surface.
I've just had a text, Evo. People can't believe Brian Carney's 50.
Well, it just shows you some of the Irish can't count.
Too late. Flop.
Penalty to Wigan.
Cheers. Wait, come on, time it.
And Lewis Tini picks it up
time it.
and gives the ball into Oliver Gildart, and Willie Ison loses it.
0.
He hit that at pace, and had he collected it, I'll tell you what, there was a chance.
There's a chance in it the other way.
There is Adam Swift. Great tackle. Great tackle, and Tompkins finishes the job.
Is it the free play?
Yeah, they'll come all the way back. It was excitement plus. Well, there's the error. And I'm not so sure that Icy will get a pat on the back from his coach, Sean Wayne, but the finish off here by Sam Tompkins was brutal.
Well, Willie Isa had a sizable figure in front of him, Steve, when he dropped that ball. You're right, it's one he should have taken in, but Joe Greenwood, standing in front of him, has had a good start to this game defensively. He's collected a few of the Wigan players. He's imposed himself. He's a big presence out on that right-hand side. We'll see him packed down here now in the front row, it looks like, beside Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook, but a very talented youngster.
Pretty good,
maybe fallen a little from the heights he's shown us he's capable of. Certainly a good start to the game from Joe.
Shot, will
Last defeat for Saints, 16 points to 33 in Perpignan, June the 11th. That day there was 6 points adrift of Warrington, who stood fourth. Dragons were 8 points clear of them. They've closed the gap right down because of the Dragons' slump in form and St Helens' wonderful pick-me-up that they've had towards the back end of this, the first phase. Roby gets the ball away to Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. In turn he finds Wilkin. He then finds Turner. And Turner is trapped and loses it.
Straight into the arms of Sargent.
Free play for Wigan now. They'll bring it back. Yes, they will. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook drops on it.
Time off.
Free play. Back they come up the other end of the field.
Well, the Wigan fans, they're booing McCarthy-Scarsbrook because he's kicked the ball way down into the corner, way behind the St Helens goal line.
OK, let's go downstairs and get first report of the night from the birthday girl. Angela?
Oh, thanks, Eddie. Well, you talked about grand final conditions, didn't you, about the weather. From about 5 o'clock, it's been quite drizzly here, but it's really hammering down now. It's really that fine rain that really wets you. That's what they're getting now. But during the day, it's been quite sunny, so you can imagine how slippery the pitch is. So look out for some slipping and sliding of players and maybe a few handling challenges too.
So St Helens now having to muscle up in defence because Wigan back in possession from that scrum. And Tompkins gets the ball into centre field. Ben Flower tries to get through the defenders, can't manage it. Powell goes right. Smith and Bateman back in the side. 7 games out, suspended. And back for this, and just in time for the semi-final as well next week. Gildart. Good sliding defence from St Helens.
Yeah, man-on-man as well when it came over onto this right corner. No one came out of the line. It's pretty solid. Kieran Cunningham will be happy with that. They're working hard, and again, Bateman slipped the first one.
And he backs his way towards the 20-metre line, but this is fifth and last coming up for the Wigan Warriors with Matty Smith. A dab into open space. Oh, well, that's very good chasing. And there was no way there for Matthew Fleming.
Beautiful play. Matty Smith, all the experience in the world. Pushes it through. They get the drop out from underneath the sticks. It's all about using your common sense, and boy, Matty Smith has got plenty of rugby league brains.
Good chase from Willie Isa as well.
You might look, it was Eddie, you might look at that and say, why wasn't Fleming able to get back out? He looked to stop. It's because of the conditions. Angela referred to them. You look at the last couple of steps he takes, the first couple of steps he takes after he collects the ball. They're very short, and he's worried about stepping too heavily off his either foot because he will slip and he will slide. Wigan took advantage of that, of course, and pushed him out. But the conditions certainly playing a part tonight.
Goal line dropout, not the best, off the feet of Bateman. But Wigan beginning this set 30 metres away from the Saints line.
Well, again, reminiscent to the match on Good Friday, when for the first 20 minutes or so it was tight, scoreless, and then in a 10-minute period Wigan opened up and won the match effectively. You've got to make sure you know with this great field position take advantage of it.
Ryan Sutton, though, has lost the ball. That's a shame on the end of some great work initially by Bateman, who was really busy in the tackle and somehow got the ball away.
Not only that, Bateman caught one as well. A pretty swinging arm that wasn't seen by the officials, but look at this, it's slippy conditions. That's right, and Thompson straight into the face. No doubt in my mind that that should have been a penalty. Either way, Saints have got away with it.
Midway through this first half.
Just relax a
Last
second,
week, Jordan Turner put a kick in against the Huddersfield Giants. It was like he shot it out of a cannon. It went about 70 metres downfield. They're going to have to come up with a similar clearing kick here today. Turner asked to play in the halves. His last season, of course, with St Helens before he goes to the Canberra Raiders. I think he's a centre or a back rower, but he has to play in the halves. Needs must at St Helens at the moment. But his kicking game, he needs to bring his very best here today. And this will be a great example if we can see him kick at the end of this set.
What about the hit from Sean O'Loughlin? Got the swinging arm into the shoulder, nowhere near the face. It's hotting up. It's boiling.
Adam Swift gets the ball away to Jordan Turner.
Move!
Roby scampering in at dummy half. They bring the ball into centre field with Wilkin. Wilkin then over the top, looking for the corner. Great kick this. Great kick this. Tompkins cannot take any chances, and now Swift aquaplanes Tompkins into the advertising hoardings. The one thing you must say around this ground is that the hoardings are very close to the dead ball line. And on a night like this, see, anything can happen.
Yeah, very, very slippy indeed, but what an intelligent kick, wasn't it? Right into the corner.
And Adam Swift's chase was very enthusiastic.
Yeah, Sam Tompkins knew that there was going to be never any way he could get out of it.
Not reacting.
It's all about building the pressure, but
once you build the pressure,
moment, you've got to get score, You've
got to score the points. I mean, Johnny Lomax in recent games has been in a rich frame of form for scoring tries. He's also been an important player in creating the space out wide. As John Wilkin ties people in, does a similar effect to what Sean O'Loughlin does for Wigan, passing and releasing. Whether they've got the timing and accuracy now to just execute a play that puts them the first try on the board.
So Matty Smith with this goal line dropout, and he gets it up to the halfway line where Luke Walsh is waiting for it, and here comes Kyle Amor. Met first of all by Ben Flower. First tackle completed by the Wigan defence. Roby. And here is Thompson running strongly down the middle.
Will they do the left-hand side, bring in the loose forward, McCarthy Scarsbrook? No, they've come the opposite. That's great defence.
The legs flew up there.
Yeah,
the touch judge is on.
He's got to penalise him for that.
This is interesting. When you see he's picked up here, it's a penalty. There's no worry about that. Maybe it might even get investigated by the disciplinary panel at some point.
Well, they look for hips being higher than the head, and that's exactly what that is. So there might be a bit more on that, but it's certainly a penalty.
The question is, do you kick at goal here?
Yes, they are. They've
they'll
made
go
that
for
decision.
Yeah, they'll go for the square it up. But to be fair to Isa, he realised that he'd lifted him over the horizontal, so he released him. He didn't. If it had followed him through, he could have been in a lot more bother.
There is an argument to say, following on Brian's point, that should be a yellow card. If we're trying to eradicate that from the game, then by sending a yellow card, it's sending a signal that we're trying to get rid of that sort of dangerous tackle.
Just there,
Phil, if he would have followed through, yes, I would agree with you.
But if he would have followed through, it might have been a lot more serious than a yellow card.
Well, either way, he didn't. He released him, and I think that Phil Bentham has given him the benefit of the doubt.
Let's just talk about this decision again of Saints to kick the goal. I mean, what message does this send out to Wigan? Is it a message that, well, we can't get through this defence, so we'll take whatever's on offer, or is it good tactics by Keane?
It seems to come back into fashion this season. More teams are kicking at goals more often, particularly when you're 20 metres or more from the sideline. So in the middle part of the field here, most kickers of this level nail this 100%. So this is almost a gimme 2 points.
This would level it up if Mark Percival strikes it sweet enough.
Okay, thanks.
And Mark Percival does exactly that, 4-all. 24 minutes or thereabouts on the watch.
Well, you'd have to say that they're the right tactic when you've squared the game. Simple.
Frank Paul Nuasala waiting to come on.
Well, the question mark, Eddie, wasn't it? How good were the victories that St Helens had previous 4 weeks? There were 2 points each of them, total of 8, which has pushed them right back up the table. But they were against sides below them, as we said. You're coming now to a side that can go top of the table with a win here tonight. And St Helens would be delighted, I would assume, with a 4-all scoreline after 24 minutes. Absolutely in this game.
Very much so. Frank Paul is just marching up and down the touchline for his home debut.
Goal, 2.
Well, that was an awful play, the ball.
Never got anywhere near attempted with the foot.
He rolled it back and he was almost on all fours. Louis McCarthy trying to tell the referee that should have been a penalty because he was struggling to get to his feet. Luke Walsh goes down the far side with a kick, and he's 5 metres short of a 40-20.
Again on the third tackle. They're great tactics. They know it as well. They know in slippery conditions this is where you can just force the opposition into an error. That's a tremendous kick. That's thinking. Giving you forward plenty of time to get a little bit of breath.
20 minutes back.
4-all will do St Helens right now. They avoid defeat here tonight. They will climb above the Catalan Dragons. And the Catalan Dragons are at the very unpredictable Widnes Vikings on Sunday at the back end of an awful run of form. Right, let's see what's happening at Salford. Ben?
31 gone here, Eddie, and hold back in front. It was strong carry from Scott Taylor that set the platform. Out and found Frank Pritchard back after 2 hours with an ankle problem. He's put the black and whites back in front, 12 points to 6.
Well, the way it stands at the moment, Hull will finish the first phase top of the table, but Wigan might have something to say about that, as also might Salford between now and the end of this evening's proceedings.
Well, here's Nuasala. Oh, he's got the penalty. Well, he was setting up for him. You could see George Williams was saying, it's going to be yours, boy. But they give away a silly penalty, so it may still be the debut boy, home debut that is. He looks like he's going to take it off Williams.
And there he is. Bang, straight into the chest of Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook.
And guess who was at the bottom of it all? James Roby.
Powell gets the ball away to Matty Smith. Smith then to Tompkins. Tompkins loses the ball under pressure from Percival. The touch judge isn't happy. Touch judge is on. Was this high?
Maybe not. Maybe it certainly hits the chest first.
Well, the contact is with the chest, isn't it?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
What will the referee give here?
So late, penalty.
A penalty. It started on the chest, it finished up under the chin.
Don't dummy, Sam, come on.
Of course, every time there's anything slightly off limits in terms of tackling, the crowd erupts, putting pressure on the officials. They have to be big and strong tonight, just like the players.
Yeah, Bossett's got to be careful. He led with the elbow there. Very dangerous indeed.
Willie Isa with a good run.
Back up, back up, back up.
Tompkins in at dummy half, as he has been for much of tonight. Frank Paul Nuasala gets the ball away.
Oh, what a take.
Somehow Lee Mossa picked that up off his bootlaces.
Unbelievable catch.
Powell, 5 metres away, fires the pass to Smith. Small ball, short ball then from him to Bateman. And Bateman is still going, but he's pushed back the right side of the whitewash from a St Helens point of view. Roby hand on the ball, Bateman not happy with that. Here now is Smith. Smith then bouncing ball all the way to Gildart. Gildart tackled initially by Walsh and finished off by Greenwood. Here is Williams. He did this last week against Leeds. Gets the ball away this time though to Tompkins. Tompkins slides the kick in all along the deck. A horrible one to collect for Percival, but he does well.
Does he ever? It looks as though Bateman had him for sure into the in-goal area. Oh boy, this is tension. Are they onside? I don't think so. Look at that. You can't tell me that Wigan have gone back to 10.
Surrender!
Boy, Phil Bentham was there all alone.
Goal 3.
Turner, they're going early. Oh, it's charged down. Oh, that ball is palmed backwards and the bounce was forward. So here comes Wilkin. Wilkin gets it away.
Oh, it's a shocker.
It was a bit untidy.
It's great. He had to lean back for it. They had 3-on-1 there. All he needed was a good pass. It didn't come.
It's unpredictable. It doesn't look like robotic rugby, does it? It's good to watch.
Wilkin with the run. Wilkin with the pass off the ground, and Amor retains possession for his team. St Helens are throwing caution to the wind as Thompson takes it forward again.
Well, they're realising that brute force will not get through this Wigan defence.
Goal 4.
Here's Luke Walsh. Gets the ball away, and it's that man Fleming.
5.
Last tackle coming up for the Saints. Roby goes into centre field, stabs the ball towards the Wigan in-goal area.
Brilliant kick.
Decent chase, but very well done by Manfredi. Wonderful clearing run from the winger.
Was it ever? Got to be careful, Saints. They're not offside.
Listen to the noise from this crowd.
And it all came about by making sure that he wanted to get on with it, trying to play the ball, and you could see there they weren't standing square. It's all pressure. It's on.
Half an hour gone, 4 apiece. Wigan aiming for the top. St Helens desperate to get into the top 4. Ahead of the Super 8s. 7 more matches in the Super 8s to come. Then the semi-finals involving the top 4. Then the grand final itself at Old Trafford on the 8th of October. Bateman with a solid run.
2. Move. Hold right side.
Powell waits.
Goal 2.
23 metres away. Smith gets the ball away to George Williams. He's great when he has the ball in hand and he attacks the line, isn't he, George Williams?
Well, he liked to take them on. He asked the question, but it was a good tackle by Joe Greenwood.
And he's an English number 6.
1.
The kick through is gathered up by Jordan Turner.
John Bateman first to make a tackle, Eddie, on Jordan Turner as he collected it. I haven't seen John Bateman get good ball yet. He's made great yards, but after getting static ball, standing still and trying to battle through 3 and 4 St Helens tacklers. If Wigan can find a way to give him some decent ball early, the St Helens left edge defence will be tested a lot more.
Good set here from Wigan in defence. So Jordan Turner on the 4th tackle, kicks downfield, and Manfredi will run it back.
Yeah, not the best kick. Good positioning though by Manfredi, had to be. But you can see there that he's got them to the halfway line. Oh, what an error that is. That's a knock on.
It is.
Forward pass, call it whatever you like. It's going to be head and feed to the visiting side, St Helens. They'll be happy with this.
And Sargentson going without it. And Wigan will be without him next year. He's off to the Gold Coast Titans in the NRL.
Well, there are times when you're under pressure, you've just got to slow things down, and it's frenetic out there.
But Wigan didn't want to slow it down, did they, really? If you look, it was St Helens who looked like they wanted to call a timeout, and Wigan had the feeling that if they could accelerate to that point, there were points coming for them. There was a try available. Now there's a momentary rest here, and we do get the timeout.
Okay, Dan. Yeah, I'm coming in. I'll tell you when.
Kieran Cunningham, Sean Long, veterans of many of these unique occasions. The St Helens coaching duo. And I noticed in the build-up, Mike Rush, the CEO of St Helens, having a very animated, well, maybe not animated, but a very close conversation with Kieran Cunningham in the dressing room. This is a big match.
Yeah, you can see there that Greenwood has been interfered with there, trying to get on with it, giving away the penalty. Now watch for the McCarthy Scarsbrook is off the field of play at the moment. They've been utilising on that left-hand side the inside pass coming back on the angle. Will they do it again? They've done it.
Good ball from Walsh, finds Greenwood. That was a very good tackle that was required. And Sam Powell came up with it. Wilkin to Turner. They spread that wide, they had a chance, but Wigan defence was on him in a flash.
Oh, there's nobody there.
I think Bateman touched that, so it's 6 to go, and they won't need 6. It is a try from Mark Percival. It is a try from Mark Percival, and St Helens hit the front. They've taken 2 kicks at goal, and they've finally found the way through this Wigan defence. Mark Percival's return to this team has been critical. He's back in the side for the last 5. He scored in 4 of them. Saints have won the last 5, and here his try puts them ahead.
And it all came about by a silly pass, wasn't it, by Wigan? And you can see that Bateman has touched it again. It was back to 6. They didn't need it. The Wigan defence there was all at sea. They had the numbers. You can count them, do whatever you like. Look at it get away with this. Robert just gets the knee, pulls it away. But look where the Wigan defenders are. 1, 2, 3, all together. Leaves the gap. Percival says thank you very much. The Saints have taken the lead.
Well, you need some class if you want to score a try in games like this, and I thought that was provided there by Johnny Lomax. That was such a brilliant pass that he put on to his teammate, who timed his run, instinctively knew if he ran for the gap, he knew that Lomax's vision would time the pass. And Wigan behind the post here now are not happy at the moment, find themselves 4 points behind.
And John Bateman leading the inquest. It was John Bateman who had a despairing dive for the ball from Marker. Gave Saints 6 to go, but they didn't need it. They got over the very next tackle. And Percival to try and add the extras to his try, which he does. So, Wigan 4, St Helens 10.
Well, it's a real seesawing affair, isn't it? And there you can see Bateman nearly got to it. Definitely got a fingertip to it, but the Wigan defence, as I mentioned, 3 just stood around saying it's yours, it's yours, it's yours, and by that time Percival was saying it's mine, it's mine, it's mine.
So Wigan to restart, 6 points behind with 5.5 minutes of the first half remaining. Kyle Amor will drag it back for them.
This is great from St Helens. They've had a lot thrown at them today from the Wigan Warriors. Wigan may look at some of their attack and say we can do better. This is a good Wigan side with a lot of their senior players back in the team. And the St Helens side so far have been able to stand up to them. They've conceded just the 1 try. I think Kieran Cunningham, if it stays like this going into half-time, well, he'll be a very happy man. Not just with the scoreline, but with the St Helens performance.
And I can hear the cheers from West Hull as we speak, because the Black and Whites of Hull FC are leading at Salford. Wigan, their nearest challengers, are losing at home to the Saints. At this moment, Hull are on the way to the Super 8s as league leaders by 2 points.
Good kick by Jordan Turner again. Kicking very, very early, not waiting until the final play the ball, and they know it. It's all about turning them around. Just adds a little bit of confusion. Psychology plays a lot of part in any sport, especially ours. But you can see that the Wigan side not all that enthusiastic to get set the scrum.
Yeah, still got 6 there.
Boy, it's been fast and furious. Some big hits.
Johnny, stay tight in there.
Rugby league at its best.
Wait. Out, wait on.
Wigan from the scrum. O'Loughlin finds Dan Sarginson.
Move! Hold!
Well, for the first 30 minutes, we've seen Wigan being quite happy to just take the ball up on a couple of occasions and then give it plenty of air out wide. I think maybe Sean Wayne will want to change those tactics, get a little bit, shall we say, control in the forwards. Maybe 3 or 4 rushes through, then maybe put on the attacking move.
This is the 70th Super League derby, including the playoffs and the grand finals. Wigan 33 wins, Saints 32, 4 draws. Last 8 meetings on this ground, 4 wins apiece. It is pretty tight in the history books between these 2 clubs. That's a nice kick from Tompkins. Lomax waiting
dangerous
underneath his own sticks. He got the ball away somehow. And Jack Owens had to bravely take the ball forward. Here's Luke Walsh.
2.
Oh, that should have been a flop, and it is.
Phil Bentham read your mind.
He's down 2 wheels.
I doubted it, but it certainly was a flop.
Nobody can read your mind, Steve, that is for sure, but he agrees with your call.
It's a nice struggle at times, Eddie, so... I would hate anybody else to get inside my bonds.
Walsh with the penalty finds touch far side.
On the foot, lads. Wait. Go.
Roby to Amor.
Surrender!
Half-time.
Stand! Hold!
Are at the
Go.
moment on the way
Sorry,
to the
mate.
Super 8s as league leaders in pole position.
It's important now that St. Helens just
Wait.
play
Go.
casual. They've been kicking early in the piece. Wouldn't surprise me if they do it again. They're in a pretty good position here.
Square.
And again, good
Go.
work by
3.
Greenwood. He's working overtime.
Walsh into centre field to Wilkin. He finds Turner. Oh, and Turner with a little drop of the shoulder. It wasn't meant, I don't think. Might come up for Saints here. I think he was looking to pass there. Morgan Knowles in the end got on the end of it and plays the ball of sorts to Roby. He then finds Turner again. This is Lomax who slips under the challenge of Bateman.
Boy, the short pass was on as well.
Hold! Go!
Adam Swift now. Back to Jordan Turner. Stab looking for Kyle Amor. Knock on by Tompkins. Try for Morgan Knowles. Well, Morgan Knowles on his Derby debut. The 19-year-old Welsh international. A match-winning try against Warrington in April. The Cumbrian has got over for a second Saints try.
Well, there was a dummy there by Turner. Put himself into a good position and it looked like it was going to be all over. And then they played the ball quickly. That really could have been a penalty, but he allowed play on Phil Bentham. The kick through by Turner. Now what's Amor just in front, either way, the ricochet. And I'm afraid it wasn't the best from Sam Tompkins. He had the opportunity and just spilt it. It became a GIFT gift. It gives them a TRY.
It's a brilliant kick by St. Helens again, because you're asking your opponents to try and take the ball under pressure. They couldn't to Morgan Knowles. Well, his first touch was good there. It helped to set up that play. Just a minute to half-time here, and they should extend the lead to 12 points. The last time that St. Helens won on this ground 2 years ago, I think it wasn't just important to give them 2 points on the table. I think psychologically it gave them the confidence to go on and win the grand final against Wigan just a few months after that match. It was a massive match, and if they can win here, it's a season-altering game here. Earlier on in the year, most people had written off the Saints as a challenger of this tournament. They're back in it with that great 40 minutes.
Yes, Mark Percival with the chance to make it 16-4 with a minute to go to half-time, and 16-4 it is.
It was a beautiful kick, but you've got to say that Amor is just a bit in touch.
Do you think so, Stu?
Well, it's difficult to tell from that angle. I mean, his foot's on the 10-metre line, and perhaps the ball's just behind it, but it's very, very tight.
So tight, he was in front.
Well, that's your opinion. It's not the opinion of Mr. Bentham or his touch judges.
And I don't think St. Helens will be worried about it either.
No, they won't be leading any debate. I think Sean Wayne might. He's just stomped past us on the way to the dressing room. Not the happiest.
Hold! Wait! Go! Play
There's no
on.
question about the fact that the St. Helens side have defended brilliantly and managed to take the chances when they've had them in attack. They've thoroughly deserved the lead they have now.
Oh, and Greenwood with a big mistake. He's dropped that. It was a heck of a collision. Morgan Knowles, was it? Yes, I beg your pardon. It was Morgan Knowles. He's dropped it. Oh, but I tell you what, the siren comes to his rescue. Saved by the bell. Morgan Knowles. Well, what a half. Saints took what was on offer with the kick from Percival in 5 minutes. Wigan were ahead in 11 through Tierney's bravery. 4-2. Percival with a penalty levelled it up 4 apiece. Then a Percival try and a Knowles try just before the half-time siren. 16-4 to the Saints, and Kieran Cunningham delighted at half-time.
Half-time at the DW Stadium, and it's St Helens who have won their last 4 Super League games in a row coming into this match, who lead at half-time 16 points to 4. 12 of those St Helens points coming from Mark Percival, a try and 4 kicks for him. There is one other game on tonight. It's the league leaders, Hull FC. If they slip up at Salford and Wigan win, of course Wigan will go top, but it's Hull leading at the moment. They scored first through Steve Michaels before Michael Dobson hit back for Salford to level the game at 6 points apiece, and then the returning Frank Pritchard went over for a try that was converted, a 6-point lead for Hull FC at half-time. Well, at the DW Stadium, messages being delivered by the coaches at the moment. Sean Wayne finds his side behind at half-time. Big prize on offer for them. They will also want to be avoiding 2 consecutive Super League defeats following their reverse last week at Headingley. And Kieran Cunningham, you would imagine, would be a very content man in the dressing room at half-time. He described the 4 recent wins they've had as relief turning into belief for his side. And you would say, on reflection, in that first 40 minutes, it was a St Helens side playing with a great deal of belief. John Wells, you join me here at the touchscreen to analyse that first half. Wet and slippery conditions that played a part in that first 40 minutes. When it's wet and when it's slippery, possession and territory become crucial. Getting territory revolves around a good kicking game, and we're going to bookend this analysis with a look at the kicking game.
Kicking game in a game in this magnitude, kicking game in any game is important. It's an important part of your arsenal to have. The conditions here changed markedly in a couple of hours before kick-off, and that would have placed greater emphasis on how each team was going to kick. We join Wigan early on in the first half. Second play from Tompkins. The quality of the kick ensured the repeat set, ensured another look at that St Helens line.
What's that saying to St Helens when you kick on tackle too?
That we're patient. That we believe that given enough time at this end of the field, we're going to breach this defence. Defences have been good. The score line with 20 points in total doesn't tell the story, does it? Yeah. Only 3 tries and come late in the half, as well as fatigue has set in, and from individual errors. I think off the back of this, there's one person here who's in the frame. Now, you can't actually see the St Helens winger here.
Jack Owens,
he's up. Just trust me, that'll pan across in a second. This kick is something that George Williams does particularly well. He brings up his centre and his winger. It's a certain area of the field that he targets to make sure that those right edge centre and wingers are committed. He did it for the winning try against Wakefield a fortnight ago. He did it last week at Leeds in the victory, in the loss against Leeds for Josh Charnley. Teamed up with Lewis Tierney again. Just as this camera comes across here and we pick up Owens in shot, so he has had to come up. He has had to commit to the running lines that were offered by Tierney and Gildart to start with, and a great finish from Lewis Tierney. So evidence there of what a good kicking game and a little bit of patience can do.
That was a response to a Mark Percival kick, a penalty kick, which had put St Helens in front. That gave Wigan a 4-2 lead. We then saw the defences, John, and as you say, in these conditions, I mean, it almost favours defences because it's hard to spread the ball. Having said that, the defences have been good.
They have a couple of things that jumped out. I mean, first of all, Wigan's shape, is as good as always. I think St Helens did an awful lot of homework on this. Have a look at, in particular, Luke Walsh, not noted for his defence, panicked sometimes in the defensive line. I think this has showed a marked improvement. Keep your eye on him. Very, very easy at this point with all these numbers to go and choose a man to come in and try and wedge and try and do something. And the fact that he doesn't, the fact that he buys time, calls, talking on the inside to Greenwood, means they can map off and snuff this out. And they've done that reasonably successfully throughout this first half. Again, on the flip side, St Helens able to generate a bit of momentum around the ruck. Have a look at the short side now. So these are the 2 guys that I'm talking about. Swift gets out and gets advantage. He's coming at them. He's coming at a retreating defence. Again, it would be the easiest thing in the world here to wedge in, try and snuff something out. They sense danger. Have a look at what they do. They recognise where they are in the field, and they're willing, particularly Manfredi on the wing here, giving ground, backpedaling, allowing his centre on the inside of him and communicating with him, no panic, snuff that out. But when you're on your line, the margin for error is much smaller. I think this is a peculiar one because as the ball goes to Turner goes to ground, gets a quick play the ball, and Bateman goes for this, doesn't come up with it. At that point now, Sargentson loses his man and loses what his man is doing. And we'll just follow this on just ever so slightly, and I'll pick this up once again. There was a little adjustment there from Percival, 2 steps to the left. Have a look at Sargentson now. He's completely lost his man. The line is fantastic.
Exceptional.
The line is exceptional, and he has been a real star in this first 40 minutes. Lomax has the vision to see it, and that's what happens. Those moments where you switch off count, and count massive in games like this.
Okay, 10-4 to St Helens. After that was scored, they extended that lead with the last try of the first half that went to Morgan Knowles. Question mark over the offside on this one. Of course, it wasn't referred to the video referee, but Kyler Moore, the player that you'd be looking at.
There was a question mark over the offside. I think these circumstances, you've got to let the live decision stand. The referees have got a tough job as it is. So we're talking about the kicker here and potential offside from Kyler Moore. The kick was good, though, and Sam Tompkins would have been under pressure had this guy been 20 centimetres back, in which case he definitely would have been onside. So you put it down, or I like to put this down to a good attacking kick, something that's put Sam Tompkins under pressure. He's come up with the error, and then Morgan Knowles has crossed. It's an unlikely lead because there's not too much between these two sides. Saints have taken those opportunities, the 2 opportunities they've had when they've presented themselves. Very professional.
Very professional, and they're building on that 4-match winning run that they brought into this game. Can they make it 5 in a row? Well, they got 40 minutes to hold on to this lead and maybe extend the lead. But coming behind them are a Wigan side that know that they can go top of the table if Hull slip up, and we can get the points here. 40 minutes to do it. Join us after a very short break.
The destiny of the prize isn't known yet. Super League's got a helicopter ready to deliver the silver. Moore! Oh! Ryan Hall! Ryan Hall! Ryan Hall scores for Leeds and wins them the league leaders' shield.
How on earth did they do that?
Well, the Super 8s were absolutely fantastic last year, and they start on August the 4th. 2 weeks this weekend, the Super 8s will be here, 7:30, Sky Sports 1. Who'll be top of the table going into those Super 8s? Well, at the moment, Wigan won't be, because the Saints are ahead here by 16 points to 4. Crowd here holding its breath, wondering what is going to happen in the second 40 as Phil Bentham makes his way out to plonk the ball on the centre spot and get this second half underway. Changes needed by Wigan.
Certainly Sean Wayne, throughout this season, the utilisation of their big forward down the middle has been the way to success. But yet in that first 40, he changed the tactics. They were getting the ball out wide on second, sometimes on the third play the ball. They've got to roll their sleeves up of the Wigan forwards and start taking command. And this is a good start.
Yes, a great run from Frank-Paul Nuwasala, but greeted by Wilkin and Amor, who were just as vigorous. This now is Mossop with the second drive forward for Wigan in this second half. And Sargentson takes it forward gamely as well.
Yeah, and they're the better tactics. That's what they've built the success on this year.
It's solid defence, though.
Yeah,
from
it is.
4, move Mark, back up. Go for
Now this season, Wigan have every time the ball had the opportunity, and they've done it again. They've in the opposition half now.
Release, hold, goal 5.
And Smith with a kick all along the ground towards those posts. Good kick. And picked up by Jack Owens.
First.
Jack Owens, his 20th appearance of his debut season at St Helens.
2.
That's much better by the Warriors.
Hold.
Good solid tactics by the forward. Get a good kick and chase, and they've really pinned down St Helens now. And on the third tackle.
Goal 3.
They're still midway inside their own half of the field. Amor, tackled by Bateman.
4.
And that aggressive approach was missing in the first stanza.
Goal 4.
And I'm sure Sean Wayne gave them plenty to think about at the half-time break.
Saints about 7 metres away from halfway line as they reach the 5th. So here comes the last, and Walsh will pump it up into the air and invite Lewis-Tini to take it on the full, which he does. Right, half-time news is coming in, Angela.
Thanks, Eddie. Sean Wayne, the Wigan coach, wants to see his players play smarter to cut out the errors. Those errors, he says, are what are putting them under pressure. He's confident, though, that he can turn this around, and his quote was, if they can score two tries, we can score two tries. Just got to hold on to the ball. Kieran Cunningham very happy with that first half and wants to see more of the same. He says, don't overcomplicate it. We're going to see a good kick and chase and get into a good arm wrestle. They did well in that first half. Just got to keep it up.
Yes, the kicking game was excellent in the first half. The Saints kicking early in the tackle count on a number of occasions. Just now putting Frank Paul Nuasala on his back. Here is Sean O'Loughlin, short ball to him. Willie Icer almost through. Now, was that touched by a St. Helens hand? The referee says no. Matty Fleming didn't get a fingertip to it, so it's the last one. And they're running it here with Tompkins. Comes further wide to Bateman. Bateman puts the kick in. Tompkins was ahead of the kick, so couldn't get involved. Adam Swift collects it for the Saints. And Powell gets a good tackle in for Wigan. And a quick play the ball. They nearly got caught again. Undid them in the first half.
Yeah, good job that Lomax got there and eventually. But that's better play from Wigan. A lot more industrious around the play of the ball area.
Having said that, that quick play the ball in the first half produced the try, didn't it, for the Saints? So I don't think it's a tactic, though.
We've not played for 4 minutes here yet, Eddie, but they've struggled on the territorial. Wigan have hammered them. They've turned over the ball deep inside their opponent's half, Wigan, when they've kicked it. And they've trapped St. Helens here now. This is the second time you suspect Wigan are going to return this in an attacking move.
The kick from Walsh is straight into the arms of Tompkins.
Not the best idea either.
Gildart goes down on the halfway line. That's the first tackle.
It just shows you what a poor kick it is when you get into the opposition half on that first play of the ball.
Wigan try scorer Lewis-Tini goes down under the second challenge. Only made 5 metres progress, though, Wigan. This is Williams. Now it's O'Loughlin. Matty Smith had to stretch for that. He then found Tompkins. Tompkins finds Sargentson. Percival deals with that particular threat.
Great sliding defence by Saints.
Up the middle they go again here with Dom Crosby. They'll be glad to see him back out on the field. He's missed the last 4 games.
That's what's needed. More of that from Wigan now. Get the big fellas down the middle, then get it out wide.
Sargentson clattered.
Boy,
was he tackled then? Was he tackled?
Obviously.
Well, the referee says that was the last, but I wondered, Stuart, whether they'd dropped off him and whether he could have carried on.
Well, it certainly looked that way, didn't it, to start with, but Phil Bentham was fairly quick to call the tackle complete and they got on with it.
This is good stuff now from Wigan.
Certainly is. This was the incident.
Tom Sargentson wasn't tackled, surely.
It was according to the official, and that's all. But that's great defence.
They've not made an inch.
They've got to be careful, though, Wigan. Don't give away a silly penalty. The adrenaline is pumping through their bodies, and when you get defence like that, it's not surprising.
Well, they're going to have to shift the ball away or go for a 2-pass kick or something, as this is too easy for Wigan.
They're penned inside their own 10. And they weren't happy with something there. The Saints, they pushed Mossop away. Turner hacks the ball downfield. Tompkins traps it.
It's not a bad kick under the circumstances either. And the chase is pretty good. Good work there by Kyle Amor.
Well, since we restarted from the second half, we're going to have just tilted the pitch here, haven't they? It's now they're running downhill for the last 5.5 minutes.
Matty Smith was wanting to get on with it quickly there, but there was one of his players ahead of him, so he had to wait till he got back on side.
Yeah, it was slow. Sam Powell getting there.
On his foot, lads.
He wanted to get on with the match.
So big opportunity for Wigan here with Bateman starting this set 20 metres away, and Bateman on the first run, taking them to within 10 of the Saints line. Sargentson finds Matty Smith. Short ball then from him to O'Loughlin. Here is Williams. Williams fires the ball into the arms of Gildart, but that's good defence over there from St Helens again. Did really well then, Jack Owens.
Came out of the line on the angle.
Crosby again for Wigan. You've got to bring the ball back towards those posts. Smith. Here is Bateman. Oh, Amor slipped. Could have been crucial. Tompkins drops the pass off to O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin waiting for support. It arrives from Mossop. Solid defence from Saints so far. Silly. Penalty.
They've got through 3 defending tackles, and then they give away a silly penalty like that, and you can see that as Lomax had gone very close here.
They have on the first drive on this latest set of 6. Third in a row coming at them, isn't it, from Crosby? Powell to Williams to O'Loughlin, who takes on John Wilkin and Thompson, and then he throws Wilkin around the back of him.
They've got to be on a warning, surely. That's 3 on the trot where they're messing around at the ball.
Wilkin was thrown from in front of O'Loughlin to behind him. That's why he ended up in the ruck.
Yeah, but
Wilkin's got to get out of the way.
Yeah, but he never made any attempt to get out of the play the ball area, and you've got to do that.
When we get a chance to, Steve-O. Anyway, this is Mossop. Wigan are laying siege to this St Helens line at the start of this second half. Sam Powell fires the pass to Smith. He then gives it to Williams. Williams then to Isa. Solid defence again from young Matthew Fleming. I say young, he's 22. Tompkins, he's told the dummy. Has momentum taken him there? I think it might have done here.
He'd go upstairs. Wanted a double movement. What's he going to give, though?
Well, Sam Tompkins nods his head, and Phil Bentham gives a semi-nod towards the video referee, Joe Cobb. He's got a try in the field, Stu.
He has a lot of bodies around. All he has to do is get the ball on the line. I don't think there's any problem with a double movement because the momentum just keeps taking it there. Well, difficult to see from that point. Looks like there might be a hand underneath it. Joe Greenwood that's under there. The momentum keeps going forward. The ball's just got to touch the ground at some point. I don't think it does. I think it's held up.
I think you might be right.
Oh, Joe Greenwood.
Tremendous stuff, wasn't it, by the forward?
I think there's enough there for the video referee to overturn.
That's succulent.
Well, we often talk about upper body strength, but Greenwood has just lifted him off the ground.
Well, he's scored a lot of good tries for St Helens this year. He's just saved a brilliant one here in the derby match.
He's the joint leading try scorer, but this is worth more than just 4 points. Has he seen enough? Has he seen what we've seen, Joe Cobb? He has a wry smile from Sean Wayne.
They're still under siege, though.
Yes, they are. He's held up.
The ball's off the floor. Tackle 3.
So they'll start again from the 10-metre line. Tackle 3.
Over the line.
Sam Tompkins wants to start it on the line, but he was held up over the line. So back he goes 10 metres. There was a meeting going on then in centre field, and Williams eventually reacted. That's good work from this St Helens defence again.
But it wasn't good work by the Wigan players. George Williams was looking for someone there, and that's a kick into the corner. He did it right there. Owens didn't take the risk.
I think it came off him, though. I think it's a goal line dropout.
Yeah, it is, but he didn't take the risk. He said, I'll get out of here.
Yeah,
well done.
Flicked it away. So, what have we had? 8 3/4 minutes. It's been one-way traffic.
Well, it's only been one-way traffic. It's been almost exclusively half of the ball that Wigan have had. They've had it on or close to St Helens try line. If territory and possession are what are important in rugby league, and they've had that certainly here in the opening parts of the second half, but the most important thing is that you change the scoreboard, and what that reads at the moment is 4-16. Had twice as much possession, 2/3 so far, and they've had it near the opponent's line.
You know, the beat St Helens here did Wigan last year 12 points to 4. Mossop takes it forward and his head jolts back because of the strength of that 3-man tackle. And in the last 8 meetings, the wins have gone alternately. And if we stick to that pattern tonight, it's St Helens who will go home with the victory.
Long way to go.
There is. But these things happen, strangely enough. And something's looking to happen here for Wigan with Matty Smith.
Well, I said before that George Williams was standing around looking for someone to pass the ball to. You've got to get that support play. He's off again. He's trying to turn and look for somebody.
I think there was a union meeting going on, Steve-O, in centre field at that stage that you're talking about. There isn't any more, because here is Smith. Oh, Tompkins, he had to stretch for it. It wasn't the best pass, to be fair.
Well, he's out of sync, I'm afraid. He's the full-back.
Well, the 2 poor passes there. The first one from Sam Powell. He picks it up, Mike. He skips the side. The one to Matthew Smith, not brilliant. he follows that on here, really. The passing accuracies let him down there. And it's amazing, Eddie, didn't it? We said before the match, is it only Leeds who've scored fewer tries than Wigan so far this season? And yet the Warriors could go top of the table if they win tonight.
What do St Helens do now? They've been under the pump, have a lot of energy expended in defending their line. They've got the ball back, though. Oh, absolutely, Stevie, you're gesturing for them maybe to kick it into touch, to slow the game down. But they certainly need to get a better kick away and a longer kick away. They cannot afford for Tompkins or any of the wingers to be returning the ball on the full.
Right, let's get up to date with Salford. It's Ben.
Thanks, Eddie. Yeah, Salford close within 2. It's Mason Caton Brown who takes the pass from O'Brien to go in the corner. O'Brien hit the post with the conversion, so just 2 points in this.
Thanks, Ben.
Move!
You got the B right.
Oh, dear.
Well, this is great relief, and this is good work by St Helens to get anywhere near the halfway line. This has got to go over the whitewash. Don't keep it in the field of play.
It's okay.
Well, Wilkin has kept it in the field of play, I think, under pressure from Bateman. He has. Tompkins.
Well, here's the danger, isn't it? Don Manfredi can change games for Wigan. He has this season. And so far, St Helens have done well to contain him, but don't kick the ball to him without a big wall of defenders.
No, that was good work from Morgan Knowles to cut him down in mid-stride then.
Wait, go to.
Sargentson plays the ball to Powell.
No kick.
Here comes Ben Flower.
Move!
Well, they've changed the tactics of Wigan, and that's right down the middle with the big fellas. And now they'll probably start looking at getting the link. Or will they even go for another bribe? Yeah, the forwards are going to take it.
Don Crosby.
Get square in there, Morgan.
Straight at Atelier.
This could be a kick early.
Move!
Last one coming. Williams outside of the boot.
Not the best.
Well watched by Greenwood. Saints have got the ball back.
Another brilliant defensive set. I mean, they're under the pump. You could see them conceding a penalty.
And now
the opposite has
conceded a
happened.
penalty. The opposite's gone. You're right.
This is just great. Great from St Helens. Great patience and returning the ball. It was Wigan that offended and have conceded.
Yes, maybe a bit of ring rustiness for Don Crosby. More action at Salford. Ben.
Possibly really significant for Hull's tilt at top spot here, Eddie. Chris Green goes in, and crucially, Mark Sneed has added the extras from right in front of the post. They've got a 2-score cushion now. 18 points to 10, FC ahead.
Okay, St Helens leading 16-4 against Wigan. Hull at the moment on the way to the Super 8s in pole position in the Super League. And of course next week they have a Challenge Cup semi-final against this Wigan Warriors side to contend with. The pressure does not ease.
No, it certainly doesn't, but St Helens will be very, very happy to see that they're in a pretty good position here. And they don't have to chase the scoreboard. They've got to just control it. They haven't had much opportunity. That won't help. Not the best from Roby.
But it found Percival, who's been a danger all night.
It's having a great game.
The ball slipped through the fingers, though. Atelier picked it up. He thought he was on his way, and the referee has ruled it a knock on.
Well, I didn't want that. That's for sure. And you could see that Sam Powell was trying to get involved in the tackle and dislodged the ball. I don't think it was deliberate. Kieran Cunningham will not be happy with that, because that was the first opportunity to apply any pressure to the Warriors when they really needed just a kick into the corner.
Even Cunningham believes the best is yet to come from his side in the weeks ahead.
Has he gone back?
And Kieran, a member of the St Helens team that ended Wigan's domination of the scene when they won the first Super League crown way back in 1996. Wigan had won just about everything in the years immediately before that.
What's that, mate? Heads in. Hold out.
Wigan now trying to get this ball away from their own end of the field. It's St Helens' turn to come forward quickly in defence.
Well, if they hang on to this and win St Helens, you can assure that Kieran Cunningham will say, well, it was our defence that certainly won it for us. And this fella that's just put the tackle in, Joe Greenwood, what a huge game he's had.
Mossop goes down, tackle number 3. They're still 12 metres away from the halfway line.
What was that, sorry?
Natty Smith.
Okay.
Good hit by Atelier.
Goal for
Williams. Mossop. Solid run, but well met by Morgan Knowles. 19 years of age, Morgan Knowles, trying the first half.
Goal 5.
Holding his own out there. Tompkins. Kick towards the Saints line, collected by Jack Owens. Cherry and white wall ahead of him.
Not the best option, really.
Hold Wigan.
He should have been punched into the corner. Interesting to see that in the first half we saw so many times Sam Tompkins get into the dummy half position. Now we're seeing George Williams taking that role. Not so sure they're the right tactics. Leave it to Sam Powell. He's had a good season.
Swift plays the ball to Roby, finds Wormsley. Solid run again from big Alex Wormsley.
Could have been a flop there.
Walsh, Jordan Turner. Made good progress. Made really good progress here, Saints, in this set of 6.
5, move! Go.
Maybe.
Walsh hoists this high, comes left. An invitation. Oh, Sam Tompkins has lost it, and I think Sargentson was offside.
He certainly was.
Don't think the referee's interested, he's putting the scrum down.
Either way, it's Saints will have the possession. Well, maybe accidental offside. I don't think that.
But it hit him on the head, Tompkins, but then Sargentson picked it up. He was offside, wasn't he, Stuart?
It's accidentally offside. By the time he actually took possession, Tompkins had ended up in front of him. So I think the scrum's a fair call. Head and feet to Saints.
Come on, lads, let's form up in there.
Knock on.
Well, if you think about how hard St Helens have had to work here, 15 minutes. They've been pummeled on their own line.
Let's get going,
have to take the ball up, and the first time the supporters now find the voices in this second half. Got a chance to attack. They've waited, worked very hard to get here. I bet Kieran Cunningham hopes they don't waste it.
This is their chance, St Helens.
Yeah, you're going to get the ball into Percival's hands, get it into Greenwood's hands.
And maybe Walsh as well, but there is Greenwood. Oh, nearly mocked him, Brian. Completely.
I have no effect on whether he catches it or drops it.
It's a commentator's curse. Wormsley.
Great defence, though. Oh, it looked as though he was trying to offload.
He did.
You don't do that.
Well, there's no need to. Here is Turner. Back it comes to Lomax. Percival. He hangs on.
John.
Tackle low down. It was by Sargentson, helped out by Bateman. Lomax. Back to Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Here's a Televay.
That's all they need.
You love a drop goal, Mike. Would you go for it now?
No, they haven't had much possession or position. I'd just keep down there. This is where you put the grubber kick into the in-goal area.
Drop goal would put them 13 points ahead, but they're going wide with Walsh to the in-goal area, and Tompkins is cool enough to allow that ball to run dead in goal. Tap on the 20.
Good option, just a little bit too strong. Tompkins
was very good, Steve-O. He was wrong-footed, but still had the patience to not make a play at that ball. It would have been very tempting, hearing footsteps coming behind him, for him to put a hand on that ball and usher it out. He didn't do it. It's very good play from the fullback.
Wait, fellas, wait.
Well, it's a lot more effort by the Wigan forwards in this second half, but the way that Saints defended in and around the play the ball area, you know, midway through the season, that was one of their biggest problems for Saints. They were running from dummy half, and that is a mistake.
Gildart, and you should have seen the reaction from Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook when the referee blew his whistle. I don't know whether we catch him here, LMS, but he celebrated like this was a winning try. This mistake. There's the error. There's the error. The referee blew the whistle.
And Saints will just go through the same procedure now. Just get straight in.
Time off.
Get the big boys into it, and then the way that Jordan Turner as well has organised this attack from St Helens has been outstanding.
More news at Salford, Ben.
Come on, boys.
Salford have closed the gap, Eddie. It was a break from Michael Dobson, found brilliantly. It was a 60-metre break from him that put them in the position. And Niall Evalds, who was preferred to Greg Johnson, the absence of Justin Carney, of course, goes over. They've just added the extras as well. 2-point ball game now. Salford 16, Hull 18.
Goal 2.
Well, unless Wigan do something here in the remaining 22 minutes or so, it won't make any difference. Hull will stay top of the table, even if Salford win. And here comes a chase that is led by Sam Tompkins for a kick through, and he just palms the ball down. Goal line dropout coming up.
Extraordinary there. The experienced John Wilkins, skipper, went on the third play the ball, but he had the confidence to know that they will be getting the ball back. They are wonderful tactics, but perhaps maybe Kieran Cunningham would say we should wait until the 5th.
Well, nobody chased it harder than John Wilkin, did they?
He's put 2 good kicks in, hasn't he, today? 2 great kicks.
It's been a modest old season away from home for the Saints. They have won more than they've lost, 6-4 it is, and they've won the last 2 against Wakefield and Huddersfield. They're on course here for 3 in a row on their travels. Oh, Walmsley, as I say that, has coughed the ball up, and Willie Isa has it.
0.
And you could see that St. Helens' defence is struggling to get it into a decent line.
Bateman was going nowhere then. Lomax has scurried back into his full-back position as Sargentson takes it over halfway for Wigan.
And again, you could see that St. Helens' defence, they're just forcing this Wigan outfit into virtually 1 out, but now they've got the overlap.
Yes, they have. The pass to Tini was a bit high, had to stretch for it. Just gave St. Helens a fraction of a second they needed to regroup. Gildart gets as far as Greenwood and Vey.
Been so impressive, the St. Helens sliding defence.
Tompkins again at dummy half. Smith, O'Loughlin, Sargentson couldn't get the ball away. Percival did well. Last one coming up for the Wigan Warriors. As Smith hoists it high now. The cavalry charge is on. Who wants this? It doesn't matter, it's a knock on. Wigan wanted it. Willie Isa knocks the ball forward.
Yeah, and a big sigh of relief, because I must say, Isa was in a good position there, and there was no pressure from any St. Helens player. If he could have taken that cleanly, he would have been over.
Into the last quarter of the match we go, and Saints with a 12-point advantage.
Let's go, Luke!
Well, there's been a tough encounter out there, and a lot of the players are really finding it tough.
Where you are now?
That's right, Mike. It's been intense, hasn't it, for an hour? We haven't had a point since half-time break. You get the feeling that they just can't stay at that level. There's a mistake coming, and there's points, I'm sure. The next score, in a way, is vital. If St. Helens concede, they'll look nervous and feel under pressure. But they can be the ones to get over the try line, or even just extend the lead by a point. I think it's going to be their night.
Yeah, to be fair to the Saints, they haven't looked nervous all night. They've defended stoutly, they've attacked with vigour. More news from Salford. Look at this, Ben.
Well, currently it's great news for Warrington Moors, Eddie, because Robert Lewis, with some brilliant improvisation, has gone over for the Red Devils. I think he stayed in the field of play as well to claim the try, crucially. And as I speak, O'Brien trying to add the extras from the touchline. He's missed that, but Salford back in front by 20 points to 18 here.
Yes, Warrington rubbing their hands because they win tomorrow against Huddersfield at the Halliburton-Jones Stadium at 2 o'clock. They will enter the Super 8's top of the table.
Eddie, I've heard you say don't write off the Saints a few times. Don't write off Wigan in this. They got great field position now. We'll see the knock on here. They got great field position, and I have a feeling, Eddie, that there will be a score from the Wigan Warriors coming soon. This is a St. Helens side that have defended manfully for 61 minutes, but they will be tiring.
Well, and with them tiring, that man there, George Williams, him into the dummy half position, and they've given away a silly penalty again. But I'd put my money on, if I was a gambling man, that it would be George Williams that could turn this game for the Wigan. They need something. It's got to be individual brilliance. Williams have been utilised at the dummy half.
Now it's with Matty Smith. Come right here with Shorrock. Short ball lost.
Knock on. No advantage.
Still 0.
Well, it's a 0. It's a free play, so Saints are having a bash.
That had to go wider. It was the wrong pass. It was a hard pass to catch. Right into a defender. But
time off, injury.
I think there was men outside, and maybe a pass out the back might have been the better option.
Well, not surprisingly, they've gone back to put the scrum down.
Time off. He was already off.
Referee's called time off because Luke Walsh is injured. Saints will not want to lose him again in the stages of this season. He got a real bang down from Willie Isa. Walsh back from 5 out last week. Outstanding in the win there. And Kieran Cunningham knows how important Luke Walsh is to his side. 20th appearance of this year for Walsh, only 18 in each of his previous 2 seasons.
And it's an amazing thing, you know, Walsh has not taken on the defence at all. He's been quite happy just to keep getting the ball out wide, let the forward do all the hard work. We're going to have to be careful now. Do not give away a silly penalty. Good work by Turner.
2, go.
Oh, great ball from John Wilkin. Released Lou McCarthy's scars, but his ball playing tonight's been outstanding. Was good last week again. You know, his team are flooding forward here. This is opening up. There are points, as Brian Carney's predicted, coming pretty soon.
Yeah, but which end? Brian said Wigan. Who are you saying, Phil?
And again, a beautiful kick, kicking early in the tackle count. They kicked on the fourth. That is great stuff.
I think it's the Saints that are most likely to score. They've been on their own line for so long, but there's a determination about their performance tonight. Having been embarrassed at Easter at home in front of all their own fans, they knew, as I said before the game, that John Wilkin in the pre-match interview said, listen, we owe our supporters a big performance.
Release!
They've certainly delivered it for the last hour.
Well, this has been one of the best performances we've seen from St. Helens for quite some time. And haven't they kept this guy very quiet indeed.
Oh, but that's a good offload just the same from Bateman to Sargentson. Here is Williams, Roby and Amor. He still smuggles the ball away, though, to Ryan Sutton. Now to O'Loughlin. Here goes Shorrocks. This is Isa. Isa gives it back to the young Shorrocks. He is grounded by Luke Walsh. Saints, Wigan rather trying to prize an opening, trying to break through this St. Helens rear guard, and Smith goes down on the last tackle here. So watch for the kick. O'Loughlin with the kick, and that's not a bad one actually. Jack Owens has got a bit of work to do here.
Did well.
He did do well. He went to ground very quickly when he got the right side of the whitewash. Now then, Lomax, good run from Lomax.
Tremendous. He's had the ball knocked away from him.
Lomax has lost it. Here is Tierney. Was that an obstruction?
Certainly looked like it, but Lomax had that ball punched out.
So it's with Shorrocks. Now Ben Flower. Another big effort needed by this St. Helens defence. One of a number of big efforts that they put in tonight in the last 65 minutes.
Oh, that is a real error. It's a knock-on. They thought it had gone backward. Shorrocks looks in disbelief. Sutton just taps him on the head, but this is it was one-on-one, so that was legal. You've got to be a little bit more careful than that. I don't know where they got the knock-on from that one.
Well, Jake Shorrocks has come through the system under 15s, 16s and 19s at Wigan. Here he is in the white heat of a derby. Salford news, Ben.
Hull aren't going to give up their tilt at the top spot here, Eddie. And it's Mark Sneed who's going to go in a minute. Mark Sneed, of course, 4 seasons at Salford, 50 Reds appearances, added the extras as well, and Hull back in front by 24 points to 20.
One short, Saints.
Yes, Mark Sneed with the try for Hull FC.
Sam, get in.
So they are just ahead there. They then suddenly go back into favouritism for the top of the table after 23 rounds. The Super 8s to follow, and this will be a Super 8s match, Wigan Saints.
Hold.
And if all the Super 8s are like this, there'll be no complaints from us. 4th of August.
This has been a great game. This really has been top quality. The defence on both sides, rugged, rough, tough, lovable.
If St. Helens do go on, Eddie, and win this game, won't that light a fire underneath the Catalan Dragons? 5 weeks ago, they're 8 points in front of St. Helens. 5 weeks later, they might find themselves 2 points behind.
They might. That's a nice bit of invention. Oh, Tompkins leapt, and there was definitely thoughts of self-preservation there.
Certainly was. It was good play by Tompkins. It had to be. You've got to give a lot of credit though for Matthew Fleming. It was talent to the fore there.
It was invention, but Tompkins dealing with the threat.
This is the danger man. Not Manfredi, stopped him again. He's almost, I think, offered a prize, St. Helens. Anybody who can stop him wins a reward after this match. They've done really well, as Sean O'Loughlin's kicked it deep and hard into the corner. Goes out over the sideline.
Yes, they will hunt the mistake, will Wigan, from the scrum.
Yeah, good thinking there. The captain's knock right into the corner. And they know they've done it before. We saw on that last occasion that St. Helens had it. Johnny Lomax had the ball knocked down out of his grasp. One-on-one. They'll be looking for that as well with Wigan. They've already set it up. The The clock has stopped. No, they haven't fulfilled. They haven't got the 6 in the scrum.
Now they have.
Tompkins is furious to say, come on, we're running out of time. Get yourself sorted.
Come on, lads. Get ready, Saints. Thanks, Paul. We're getting ready now.
What
Cheers.
do we have in store for the next 13 and a half minutes?
Well, from St. Helens, it'll be up the jumper. They'll be hoping that they can perhaps just get the penalty. Wigan eager to get involved. Make sure they've got to go back to the official, but boy, some of this defence has been cruel tonight.
Wait. Goal.
It has, and you have to pay credit actually to St. Helens for finding a way through the Wigan defence.
Wait. Goal 3.
Well, they tried to milk the penalty there. Roby sets off all on his own. Walsh says, get out of it. I've got the experience. Come on, big fella.
Who was it, sorry?
Namor almost broke the line. Well, he's saying, I'm trying to get to my feet. Blow that whistle for a penalty. It didn't come. Walsh with the kick. Not the best. Tierney.
No, but it was evident there, Eddie, that when Walsh came in to take that kick, there wasn't one Wigan player that had the speed or the energy to put him under pressure.
And they're kicking, as you rightly say, Phil, they're kicking away from this man, Manfredi. They're kicking to the left-hand side. Manfredi is having to come in off his wing and look for work. And so far, Saints have dealt with the problems that he poses.
Go!
You don't need to be coach of the year, do you, to work that one out? That looked like a forward pass, but the rest has said play on.
Yes, Isa has hold of it.
Hold, go,
Powell. It's now Smith. Here's Bateman. McCarthy Scarsbrook gets hold of his jersey and wrestles him to the floor. Powell now. Powell will go into the 20-metre area. Johnny Lomax. Oh, the ball is free.
It's a knock-on.
It is a knock-on. It's going to be a goal line dropout. The pressure is building. The pot is boiling.
Good work by Sam Powell.
Joe.
If you catch your mind back, he scored a try in a similar way on Good Friday, kicking it through behind the line into the in goal and grounding it.
Is he asking here?
In front of it.
Is he asking here for a knock-on by Powell? And it is a knock-on.
It is a knock-on. Yes, he's knocked it on in the in goal area. This goal line decision will be reversed and taken to the 20-metre restart, I think.
Yeah, I thought it knocked on in the first instance, so that'll be the tap.
Steve O'Sharp has attacked tonight. Read the rule book all week.
I thought this defence that St. Helens have been forced to do would take energy out of them, because it should be energy sapping. We'll see here the referee's camera angle. Yeah, the Powell has knocked on. I thought it would take energy out of them, Eddie. Complimenting both of these sides and the conditioning staff that have prepared these sides. We're in round 23. We're in the 68th minute of this game, and these guys have not let up, either in defence or in attack, both of the teams.
There's a knock-on. There's the error yet again.
Big hit on Thompson. This was it. Ben Flower, Ryan Sutton. Ryan Sutton.
As soon as it hits Sir Laughlin's head, that means that it's a knock-on and it's a head and feed for Wigan.
Back to Ben at Salford.
Eddie, our Hull heading for the Super 8 in pole position. Curtis Norton set this up with a 60-metre break. A brilliant flick from Gareth Ellis. Found Mahe for Noah. And with the kick to come, it's 28 points to 20 now to the Black and Whites.
Heads in.
Yes, looks like they might be.
Out.
Saints 16-4 up here. Bateman with a run, taking on Greenwood, taking on Walsh. Thompson. Oh, he's dropped the ball. The ball was stolen.
Penalty.
From him.
Still at the back of the ruck.
Well, they won't be taking two here.
Quick tap, and that's what they got on with it.
With Ben Flower.
I've still got my money on George Williams to drag them back into this game.
Well, he so nearly did last week. And here he is, gives it to Smith. Back it comes to Tompkins. Weaving run from Tompkins. Enveloped by Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook.
Hold!
Had a big year, Louis McCarthy, this year. He really has. O'Loughlin, Smith, wide it goes. Williams, wide. Tierney!
Oh,
great defence. Great defence, Jack Owens.
Unbelievable. It looked for all the world that he was going to get into the corner. Beautiful pass there from George Williams and the three St. Helens players. And they have every right to be celebrating that.
Outstanding defence from Jack Owens.
Put his body on the line, Eddie.
He's only got 2 tries all year. Hull did not convert that latest try. They have an 8-point advantage, though. and they'll be around about 10 minutes or so from the end of the game there at the AJ Bell Stadium as well. So at the minute, Hull are going to go top, and this, if it stays like this, gives Warrington a chance to go second tomorrow.
Well, it does. I think the real race, though, Eddie, is in for that fourth spot between the Catalan Dragons and St Helens. I know the other teams will say that they've still got a chance, and they do, of getting in that fourth, but the favourites at the moment will be St Helens and the Catalan Dragons, and this result will be a massive lift for St Helens. The 4 previous wins, well, with all due respect, teams lower down the table. This is the real marker.
And I just wonder how many St Helens fans might be tempted to go to witness and don the colours of the Vikings on Sunday and cheer the Vikings on if they hang on for the win here.
Well, still a lot of time left. We've seen it happen, 2 tries in the space of 10 minutes. It's not beyond them, but I must say it's been a real struggle, hasn't it, for the Warriors? How on earth is St Helens' defence had just kept going and keeping them out?
Walsh,
good kick.
Off the body of Lewis Tierney, so he'll run it back. And a little bit of urgency as well from Tierney, but look at that defence from St Helens again. You know, they're an attractive side to watch. That's in their DNA, St Helens, but their defence tonight, outstanding.
Yeah, it hasn't just been their attacking prowess, has it? It's their ability to work hard for each other. They've shared the load as well.
Sargentson would not be put down then. Here is Tompkins now. And he's asking for a penalty, and he's ducked under another would-be penalty from Jordan Turner.
Could have been a penalty. He was pushed as he was playing the ball.
Isa gets the ball wide. Williams puts it down.
Knock on. No, he went behind him. He had to drag it through. And this is real celebration time. It wasn't the best pass. It was up over the shoulder.
I wouldn't dare suggest this, but Wigan have got a big semi-final. Hull have won, so that means Hull will go into the top 8 as league leaders come what may. Doesn't matter here in terms of the league positions. Warrington, if it stays like this, have a chance of going second in the table. As I say, I wouldn't suggest it seriously, but we're going to got that big semi-final next week.
You are suggesting it. What are you suggesting?
Well, I'm suggesting that is that playing on their mind. I'm not suggesting, I'm asking my expert trio.
Not at all. There's 20,000 in here, Eddie. This is a massive game for Wigan. They lost last week at Leeds. This is one they would have come out wanting to win. There's players out there playing for places in that semi-final. And the night so far belongs to St Helens, and 2 individual efforts in a great team performance in the second half defensively. Joe Greenwood's tackle on Sam Tompkins, and that most recent one, Jack Owens on Lewis Tierney. They bookend a 20-minute period where St Helens have been magnificent in defence, and Wigan have come up short in attack.
Still, we await the first points of this second half. 8 minutes of the match remaining.
Saints won't mind.
They might fancy a drop goal now.
Yep.
Jordan Turner is back there, but he's
That's
got
what I've been looking for it.
Luke Walsh goes for it. The Saints fans will tell you they have kicked it. Luke Walsh has kicked the goal. It's a 13-point ball game, and they're only 7.5 minutes away from a famous win.
Well, this brings a smile to everybody's face if you're associated with St Helens. And I'm not biased one way or the other, but that's brought a smile to me. That was the right option.
Ooh,
what a great kick.
Is brilliant.
Unbelievable.
It found the right side of the whitewash by millimetres. And Matty Smith has turned Wigan's defence maybe into attack here.
How many times do we see that? It doesn't have to be a try, but they've got the 1 point.
It's great spotting, actually, by Smith. He saw the gap.
Hey, give that toucher some credit to get back into position so the restart could happen. We love the fast game that rugby league is. It's about speed, isn't it? Of thought, of mind, and of body, because you needed to be in position so that the game could restart.
I'll tell you what, he's pulling tugs there, isn't he?
Move! Get on the line! Go!
Manfredi at dummy half for Wigan, and here is O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin then finds Frank Paul Nuasala, whose home debut at the moment and his first taste of the derby is going the wrong way.
Go to, walk away.
This is Powell. O'Loughlin again. Back it comes. That's brilliant
Wonderful
defence
play
from Mark Percival.
0 still.
That is the game winner as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, it's on. There's a bit of a schmozzle.
Yeah.
I've got this.
They're all rushing in.
Phil Bentham is blowing the whistle and taking a backward step, and then another backward step, and he's every right to do that. Shirts are off, tattoos are on display.
Walk away.
Well, there's two confrontations. Take your pick. Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook. He has been in the thick and the heat of this battle all night.
It's not settling down either, is it?
Oh, it's a grab of the hair. That's not on, I'm afraid.
Well, Wigan had 2 players attend the disciplinary hearing last week. There's a chance they might be going again.
Frank Paul Nuasala, was it? All over the top of Louis McCarthy?
Thank you.
Well, he took him off the ball, didn't he?
Who?
Nuasala.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's absolutely...
Hey!
Oh.
Hello.
Hey! Louis!
Well, welcome to the Super League, Frank Paul. Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook will not take a backward step. Willie Ice is trying to calm him down.
Time off.
Now then.
Well, I'll tell you, there's neither of them. Frank Paul might be in trouble, but Louis McCarthy's just aggravating the situation with that little gesture.
Well, I think the penalty is going to go to St Helens here for the off-the-ball shot by Nuasala, and I think both those players need to be sent to the sin bin, and let's get on with it.
Well, if there's anything about him, Phil Bentham, it's got to do it.
Yeah.
Well, he made a movement towards him. There was no contact, thankfully, but it was the off-the-ball incident that really upset McCarthy Scarsbrook.
And then it was a tap on the chin from Louis and a right hook from Frank Paul.
It was more of a slap than a right hook, Eddie, but you know, McCarthy Scarsbrook shouldn't have done that.
Hey, with 5 minutes to go, this game's probably already won, isn't it? But what it does, it sets up the rematch when these two play again.
It does, doesn't it? And there's a sin bin, there's a yellow card for Frank Paul Nuasala, who is eyeballing Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook.
And a punch. Walk off.
Well, he pulled.
Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook follows him.
I think he will.
And I think the referee's doing well here just to delay because Frank Paul is waiting. Frank Paul Nuasala is waiting for the St Helens loose forward.
He's been escorted off the field by Steve Blakely, former Salford Wigan player, of course, is also a black belt in karate. So Frank Paul causes trouble.
LMS follows.
And that's deliberate from the referee. Let one player get off before the other goes, so we don't get any afters on the way off.
Yeah, well, you know, when you've got hair and you've got a bun like that, you don't like it to be pulled about, do you?
No, you don't, and it's been simmering a little bit. Well, Frank Paul Nuasala has gone straight to the dressing room.
Back up, lads, back up, back up!
Because they won't be coming back on tonight, either of them. And
First.
Saints might be wise just to leave Louis where he is.
Hold.
Yeah, and
We don't want anything silly going on below ground, because obviously Frank Paul was upset.
And this is where you get to a situation where, come on forwards, this is where you've got to just man up, take the ball up. Maybe Wigan might just get a bit confused and have a bit of a high shot or a flop or whatever, give away the penalty.
Stuart, what might be the repercussions of all that moving forward? Because there's a semi-final to be played next week.
Well, we had a player who was given a match review panel caution for pulling hair the other week, and it might well just end up as that. You know, beyond that, I don't think it was a great deal.
That was a sensational kick, and Tompkins has taken it over the line, head and feet to Saints.
Yeah, it was confusing, wasn't it? Dribbling all over the place. Luke Walsh doing the right thing, using the brains. And I'm afraid it hasn't been a good night for the fullback, Sam Tompkins.
Well, Chris Brooks is having a word with Frank Paul Nuasala in the change room.
You think when he went to medical school to become a doctor, he ever imagined that was one of the modules you had studied, calming down an irate player just before the end of the game?
Well, I'm sure he's done it many times, Phil.
I think Nuasala's gone to the change rooms because that's what happens in the NRL. They go to the changing rooms if they're in the sim bin. So he probably doesn't know he can stay outside if he wanted to.
Well, Steve Blakely ushered him down the tunnel. But that was a sensational kick from Luke Walsh.
Was it ever?
He's the key. Keep him fit. They've got a great chance. Leeds from 5th have done it. Can St Helens from 4th or 5th or wherever they finish, can they go forward and make it to the grand final?
Boy, there's been some heroes on this St Helens side, hasn't there? They really have worked hard. The forwards have worked overtime. They've had to.
Forward.
Oh, that's a knock-on.
Yeah, it's a forward pass anyway. It'll bring it back surely for the scrum. You know, we've not seen Saints lately. We haven't seen this 5-match winning run, but this arguably is the best they've played when our cameras have been trained on the Saints this year, tonight.
No, for years and years we used to call them the classy Saints, and I mean they were just outstanding for many years, but this has really been a defensive effort that would amaze anybody. I suppose over the last 5 or 6 weeks you could call them the silent Saints. They just kept winning and winning. And
yeah, they've come under the radar, haven't they? They really have.
But what an effort tonight.
Hold, go one.
Well, they knew if they lost tonight, they would almost certainly face 4 games away from home. Catalan Dragons' points difference is superior, so even now that they have won, and the if the Catalan Dragons lose at Widnes on Sunday, of course, it is the Saints who will finish 4th. The Catalan Dragons have got to go to Widnes now and win to secure 4th spot ahead of the Super 8s. Wigan moving the ball from left to right, and they have kept on Manfredi quiet tonight. They've done a wonderful job on him.
Yeah, not just one player, Eddie. They've kept up most of this Wigan outfit. Very quiet indeed. They're trying to get it out wide, inside pass, but they've picked him out. Tompkins, what can he do?
Well, it's good to watch this from Wigan. Late on in the match, really good. Now it's not.
That's not good.
Frustration for Sargentson, frustration from Manfredi.
He just pulled out of it, Sargentson.
Nothing wrong with the pass, was there?
He just pulled back.
Oh, it's more like one of your golf shots, that, Steve-O. Complete miss.
Frustration for Wigan, elation for St Helens and the supporters.
It's been a wonderful outfit, hasn't it, St Helens? I mean, tonight. Midway through the season, a lot of people were saying that the biggest problem at Saints was they didn't have a half-back combination. All of a sudden, Jordan Turner has taken over the role at standoff. Luke Walsh has been providing a lot of the ball out wide, and the combination has been basic. Nothing outstanding, but that's all you need. They've done their job. They've controlled things out there, and they've allowed the rest of the St Helens outfit to say, we'll take you to it. But what an effort from the forwards, especially Joe Greenwood.
And the Saints, of course, they will have to find another partner for Luke Walsh for next year, because Jordan Turner's on his way to the NRL and the Canberra Raiders. I'm sure that the search is on. The people who run Saints know Muggs.
Well, Jordan Turner's made a real great fist of that position, Eddie. He's been outstanding tonight. He's calmed things down, the 2 half-back.
He was Kieran's first choice for number 6, wasn't he, at the start of the season? Then he sort of drifted around centre, loose forward, second row. He's back, and he's been directing the operation with Walsh tonight, and here they come looking for a big finish with Fleming. Fleming gets it away to Luke Walsh. They're piling forward, the light blue jerseys. It's Roby! And James Roby wins the match for St Helens, clinches it, all ends up, and the Saints fans are going absolutely crazy right behind where Saints are celebrating. They will tell you they've not had much to shout about this year, but they will be screaming from the rooftops tonight. The Saints are back, and they are dark horses in this form for a trip all the way back to Old Trafford.
An amazing effort. Walsh put it through, then back, bring one back on the inside. Look at the shimmy here. keep it alive. Walsh knows exactly who's coming through. Waits until he commits himself. And the man that always supports, always does, the best hooker for many, many years, James Roby, had just completely turned this game on its head and put the final lid on a wonderful, wonderful team, what you could call superb.
Well, James Roby, he won a Man of the Match award in the 2014 Grand Final against Wigan. This is his 39th meeting with the old enemy. A try here in a 2012 win, 26-18. Top tackler against Wigan on Good Friday. And just a moment ago, Percival added the extras. And this has been a super St Helens performance. 23 points to 4. Wigan, they led 4-2. Since then, Saints have kept them scoreless. That's from the 11th minute. Back-to-back defeats for Wigan. The 4th home defeat of the season for Wigan. The 5th successive win in a race to the top 4 for Saints. 23 points to 4, St Helens. What a tremendous performance. They have a fortnight off. They will carry the memory of this with them to their Super 8 campaign. Whether they start that from 4th or 5th, St Helens have proved tonight they are a threat.
Certainly are. Defence, and more defence. Remember, after the restarts, the second stanza, Wigan for 15 minutes just hammered. Again and again, they hammered that St Helens line and could not breach it. A tremendous effort against their old warrior on the Wigan's home ground. Boy, that really rubs it in. Walmsley goes to the fans and says lift.
And for 69 minutes, St Helens kept Wigan pointless. There's the man of the match. Angela Powers talking to Joe Greenwood, who is the first utility man of the match. And
he certainly is, and there's your champagne, Joe. Congratulations. 3 tries to 1, but wow, that was a defensive effort in that second half.
Yeah, it was defensive effort all around from the boys. Like I said, our lungs was just bursting at one point, but we all turned up for each other and we all just dug in, and really we frustrated them in their attack, and that's why we had a bit of a tussle in that second half, and good to come out with a win.
You're not as experienced as some others at these derbies, but what was that like for you?
Well, we all know derbies. It's up there with being at Old Trafford, being at your Wembley's, and it's just one of them where everyone's playing it and you just want to be a part of it, and it's always great to come out with a win.
It was a fantastic game. You had all of the intensity and all of the emotion and all the passion you would expect.
Yeah, every time we play them, no matter what, big passion, like we respect each other, but when we go out onto that field, it's like we're going to battle, and like there's going to be a few bad bodies tomorrow, but like I said, a win's a win and you feel much better.
Excellent, well done, thank you very much, Joe. Just over there is the coach, the jubilant coach, Kieran Cunningham. We're going to drag him over to the interview point as soon as we can get him. Come on, Kieran. Wow. When you want to win them, they're what you want to win, aren't they? That was a fantastic defensive display there. Probably one of the displays of the season, would you say?
100%. I think if you look at our previous record, you know, in the last 4 weeks, I think since that Wakefield game when we had to defend our way to victory, and then you go witness your great defensive performance, and then last week great defensive performance, and then tonight, you know, we was behind the 8 ball from minute 1, and we defended everything through arrows. You know, they got the try off, which probably shouldn't have been a try because they got the player pushed into the billboard, but that's sport, you know. But I'm proud of my players, and you know, we set ourselves a bit of a goal a few weeks ago, and we've given ourselves a real crack at it.
Fitness and composure were two of the things I thought about. You really had that fitness to keep up with them to the very end, but also composure, you never panicked.
What is it builds belief in the players, you know, and when you believe in each other, you can do anything, and you see your great sides in history that, you know, they've got a self-belief between the group that's, you know, it's unbreakable, and that's where we're heading we're heading in the right direction, and I'm proud as punch of the players. You know, they deserve everything they get. They work exceptionally hard, and to come to this place and play against a really good Wigan side and keep them to 1 try is, you know, it's no mean feat, but you know, we'll get a nice little break now. We can watch them boys next week and then roll on again.
You might just get 4th as well. Thanks very much for that, Kieran. Congratulations. Here's Sean Wayne the Wigan coach. Sean, your players gave everything. It was just for getting over that line, wasn't it? Errors at the last play, last execution.
Yeah, we didn't deserve it, but I thought them tries, if we'd have got them, would have been a bit fake. They were the best team in St Helens, so we got what we deserved. You know, when you complete and make errors like we made them today, way below my standards, and the players were gutted.
They did have a bit of momentum coming into this game as well, didn't they? And they've had self-belief as well, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, they've had some tough times this year, you know, and we've ground out a few wins, you know, some really tough ones, and that took some juice out of us, but they've hit some form of late. You correct, like Leeds did last week, and we've caught two teams really playing hot at the moment, but they were the better team. They were very, very smart on the floor. Phil allowed them to do it, and just smart, just outplayed us, you know, just showed a bit more desire and a bit more smarts in the contact.
Plenty of passion in that game. Your players didn't give up, did they?
Oh yeah, they didn't give up, but a big crowd, and nobody saw anywhere near the best of us today, and that's really, really good to me. Thanks, Andrew.
Just 7 points scored in that second half, and Sean Wayne's side scored none of them. St Helens extending a 16 points to 4 half-time lead. They win 23 points to 4. That second half can only be about one thing: St Helens defending their way to victory.
Yeah, of course. It was a defensive performance that had its roots in the first half. St Helens did not allow Wigan to cross that line for 68 minutes since the Tierney try. Just pulled together a selection of these. Inevitably, the ones that catch the eye are the ones on the edge, but I must acknowledge the St Helens middle unit. They were fantastic today. That said, there were some superb decisions under pressure. Here's the first one from Jack Owens. Percival with the second. I thought Mark Percival had a superb individual game. Just look at him, bottom of your screen as he enters your screen here. Just, again, that refusal to commit, refusal to bite in, and he gets the rewards on the end. This one, again, incredibly brave. Luke Walsh, not noted for his defence. He stuck himself in harm's way right in front of Willie Ice's knees, and they get the result. He wore a shot for that as well. And we'll finish where we started with Jack Owens on that right wing. He's had his critics this year. It's been an up-and-down first year for him. I thought he stood up when he counted magnificently well this year. It's a superb try-saving tackle, and it just epitomised and underlined how much effort and belief went into their defensive systems this evening. As I say, I acknowledge the middles and what they did. That was fantastic. I thought the edge stuff was great too.
And of course there was that try saver as well from man of the match Joe Greenwood on Sam Tompkins. Greenwood described it as a lung busting effort. It certainly was that. They will meet again though in the qualifiers and maybe in the semi-finals. Okay, we've got more analysis coming up. James Roby scored the last try of the game in his 365th game for St Helens. He will join John here at the touchscreen to give his analysis on a memorable St Helens victory.